Hey guys, I'm Ryler DeHeart,
And I'm Megan Fudge.
and you're listening to the Mental Game Podcast.
Hey everyone, and welcome into a new edition of the Mental Game Podcast. I'm Sam Brief, joining you here from the home studio in Chicago, and this is episode 2 of the Mental Game of Pickleball, shining a spotlight on America's fastest growing sport, and specifically on some of the top stars of the Association of Pickleball Players, and their stories, and their mental struggles and successes and philosophies and everything that goes into being a pro in the great sport of pickleball. Alex Trong was an amazing guest for our first episode, a young phenom who was kicking butt in the sport. And now we go to one of the most interesting couples that I have ever met. And it's Megan Fudge and Ryler DeHeart, who met as tennis stars at the University of Illinois, just 3 hours from where I'm talking to you from now. And then Ryler went on to coach tennis and play a little bit professionally. Megan actually went to work a desk job in insurance. And then during COVID, they found pickleball. And they started to play, and they started to play a bit with their kids. And of course, both having been Division I tennis stars, they were really good at it. And they realized they could do it professionally. So what did they do? Well, they sold their house. They got rid of all their stuff. They bought an RV. They started homeschooling their kids. And they drove around the country from tournament to tournament to training to training, and are living the life. They've completely simplified, and as you'll hear them describe in a couple of moments, they've totally locked in on just playing pickleball, being as good as they can be, and raising their kids, JR and Lily, who have totally embraced their new lifestyle in what they call Mr. Coach, their 40-foot awesome RV. So Megan and Ryler have a great philosophy. They've got a thrilling life, and I'm excited to share that with you. So without further ado, here is the Mental Game of Pickleball, episode 2 with Ryler DeHeart and Megan Fudge. Coming in 3, 2, 1. And now joining together from beautiful Naples, Florida, Ryler and Megan on the Mental Game Podcast. Welcome in, guys.
Hello, hello.
First of all, I want to say congrats. You're coming off a huge weekend at the Miami Open on the APP Tour. Got medals galore for the entire family, so catching you at a good time.
Yes, we are coming off a little bit of a high. It's been a fun weekend. A little bit tired, but we call it the Monday blues after the tournament weekend.
Well, you got the Monday blues, you got the Monday crash, and now you're on the Mental Game Podcast. So all that energy is about to get turned just totally upside down. You ready?
I know. We're excited to be with you.
All right, here we go. So I want to make sure that our listeners get your story, because you guys have an incredible story, and you're set up now, driving all over the country and competing and raising your children. It's a thrill, and it's amazing, and I want to make sure we understand it. So however you want to explain your story and set up to me, I'd love to hear it.
We found pickleball just very similar to everybody else during the COVID period via YouTube. Social media kept on telling us we need to try this pickleball thing. Fast forward 2 years later, and we are playing pro pickleball, traveling around the country. I convinced this guy to buy an RV and just hit the road. And we are just traveling around the country with our 2 kids, our 2 dogs, and meeting incredible people on this journey, and just get to compete on the APP Tour. And we just get to meet these incredible people and see the whole country, get to show our kids the incredible places, and just get to play this incredible game of pickleball.
I'm curious about the RV setup before we dive into the mental side of it. What's the bedroom, bathroom, shower, kitchen, TV, couch situation? Because every RV is very different.
We need to show you a video, I think, about our RV. Obviously, we're not in our RV right now. You can't see it right here. We're in our friend's house. We are staying on their RV pad, and they have a pickleball court in their yard. So they told us to come on in and do the podcast in their house. So this is not our RV background.
Yeah.
I was going to say, your RV looks a lot like a mansion.
Fancy, right? So our RV, we actually upgraded it last December, but our RV last year was a 27-foot, just 1 bedroom, pop-out couch for JR, and a pull-down for for Lily and a queen bedroom for us, a small bathroom. And it was pretty small. It was snug, like it was but we pulled a Jeep, so it was nice to be able to just park it and take the car places. But we upgraded it in December to a 40-foot, so now it feels like a small apartment. The kids have bunk beds; they love them. That's their rooms. Those are their rooms, and then we have a nice bedroom, washer and dryer, bigger bathroom, and just more space in general with two big slide outs. So it really, when we actually get it parked, it feels like truly like a small
Tiny apartment.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's a lot more spacious than last year. Someone coming out of a house wouldn't say so, but us upgrading from a 27-foot to a 40-foot RV, it definitely feels more spacious. But we really we tell people we really don't spend much time in there. We cook in there. We have a big fridge. We have a nice kitchen. We have the nice beds, but truly we are in there very limited amount of time, and we just love being outside.
Yeah. You go outside and living in an RV, which is not a bad thing, right? So we spend a lot more time outside, and we're just kind of sleeping there and hanging out there once in a while. We have a pretty nice TV and some chairs that kind of fold, recliners. Yeah, so that's cool. But yeah, it's a good setup. I mean, it's simple life. We got rid of everything that we own pretty much and gave it away and moved into the RV, and so now we're living the simple life.
To a lot of people, myself included, that's a scary concept, right? Getting rid of all your stuff, being on the road all the time. I mean, you upgraded an extra 13 feet, but it's still a really confined space. So I'm curious, as a family, right? You've got each other, you've got JR and Lily. What's the biggest mental hurdle, mental roadblock to committing to this lifestyle?
I think Riley can speak to that a little bit more. I was more the one trying to convince this guy. But for me, my thought was just freedom. Freedom from things, freedom from stuff, freedom from things anchoring us into one place. For me, it was like open road. Let's go. Like we can be anywhere as long as we're together. I was going to be content. I think Riley can speak for himself for how he felt about it.
I think it was a little harder for me. I mean, for Megan, it was like, as long as she has me, then she's fine, But like for me, I was like, for me, it was a little bit harder. It's funny because like she's usually more like the pack rat, and I'm usually like just get rid of it. When in doubt, throw it out, But it was hard. Like the hardest thing for us, like when we first moved out, we actually got a storage unit. And like after like 6 or 7 months, I'm like, why are we still paying for the storage unit? And then I just got rid of all that stuff too. So we gave it all away to Salvation Army. Shout out to them. They came and pick it up, which is nice. But that was the hardest part, I think, was just getting rid of everything. We'd had our furniture for a long time, like over a decade. So it wasn't like it was really anything nice. And it was just kind of like, all right, let's do this. I think once I got over that part, and then everything was working, and I felt like the RV was like, it was going to work. I actually liked it a lot, and I've gotten used to it. And I think I actually like sleep better in there. It's like a little cave. So now I actually enjoy it. And like Megan said, it's kind of liberating. It was tough to like take that first step, but then I think once you do it, you jump off the cliff, you see that the water's kind of nice. So it was fine.
The water's nice. It does sound really liberating. Albeit a scary concept for most of America, probably. I'm curious what role pickleball played in all this for you. Like, do you think in an alternate universe where you guys aren't professional athletes, you don't have pickleball as your anchor, would you ever still commit to a lifestyle like this, or would you just be sucked into normal life in a house?
I think, honestly, like, without pickleball, this wouldn't be happening. No. I mean, pickleball was kind of the reason why we had to figure out an alternative lifestyle. I was a farmers insurance advisor. I was working like a desk job and on calls 24/7, basically with clients. And Ryla was a tennis coach, and we were like, okay, like this pickleball thing, like, can we do this? Can we compete in this? We started competing. And then it's kind of snowballed into we're competing every weekend in a different city around the country and trying to fly back to to a home base, and it was just like that was like even more tiring than competing. Was just like constant flights and drives and hotels and Airbnbs, and the inconsistencies of for our kids as well, trying to getting them back on a schedule. It made it very, very difficult and more stressful. And so this RV thing was like, okay, we can create stability, even though we are in different cities and maybe our home base is changing locations, but our home base, the actual RV and actual home was with us and created that routine for all of us. And this weight kind of fell, dropped off our shoulders of just like, okay, like this is familiar, this is home, this is okay, like we can do this. And so I don't think without pickleball we wouldn't choose to uproot all the time. We do like our normal our routines, but we've just had to adapt our routines.
The mental side of decision making is so interesting to me, because once you make the decision, it doesn't really end, because you're constantly, it's human nature to reevaluate and think, did I do the right thing? And Ryler, I hear from you a little bit of that at first, and then certainly much less as it went on. Where are you guys now in that process? I mean, you and the kids, you seem, this is your life, and it sounds like it's great.
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, like last week, it snuck up on me that it'd been a year. Like,
A year.
I was like, we've done this. We've been in the RV for a year, and I was like, oh my gosh, like let's ask the kids how they feel about this. It's been such a crazy year of so much going on that it's been hard for us to even sit down and be like, is this still working? And I guess that's a good sign, because nothing really challenged us that much that we actually had to stop and reflect sooner. It was like, okay, like, there hasn't been major disruptions or, I mean, there's things that broke, there's things that didn't work, and we've had to adapt and find ways around things. But other than that, it's been a great adjustment for all of us, and I'm super proud of our kids. Not every child can do this. Like, not every child is willing to put up with our lifestyle. And thankfully for our kids being the way they are, we're able to do this as a family, and we're able to do this as a job, and be athletes and compete and travel. And we went to India actually just a month ago. We took them there. I didn't know how they were going to react to a third world country, nor did I know how we were going to react either. And they did amazing, and it's incredible to get to see them up close and spend every minute with them, to see them witness this world and witness this journey. And it's just fun sharing it with them.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, yeah, I think we're always, like you said, you're reevaluating things, and we've thought about what will we do a year from now, but year one has been good. We still enjoy the RV life and kind of the simple life, but obviously we've thought about, do we want to get a house again? But I mean, now, like, I used to fly all the time when I played pro tennis, and it was like, I don't know, I didn't feel like it was as challenging. I guess with kids and stuff, it's always more challenging. But now flying feels just like so difficult, because it's just so much easier when we have our RV with us, because we don't have to pack, we don't have to get a rental car, we don't have to, get a hotel, do all these different things. Like when you're flying somewhere, there's just so many logistical things you got to take care of. And when you have the RV, it's like you just got it all right there. So it's a lot more efficient, a lot easier in those ways. And we're still enjoying it. So we'll see what time holds and what happens. But so far so good.
Yeah. And we also people are just like, if this is not working, we're fine to be like, okay, let's stop doing this and let's go buy a house. Like, we're not like anti buying a house, or we're not like closed off to any ideas that might pop up or opportunities that come around. We're very open eyes, open ears, and if a great opportunity presents itself, we would jump on something. But right now we're just kind of enjoying this and building on this and rolling with it.
You're gonna make me buy an RV, aren't you?
Yeah.
I mean, I just went last week. I went to Boston for an event, and I'm just thinking I was gone one day. So I'm just thinking about the time I spent booking the flight, booking the hotel, paying for all that crap, driving. I'm like, wow, I should have just buy an RV and drive there. It would have been so much easier. You're getting me on board.
Oh my God.
We need a single sleeper camper van. That would be right up your alley.
Now we're talking. You'll send me some links later. But before we get to that, how do you think this lifestyle affects your pickleball? I mean, Ryler, you said you sleep better in the RV than you did in a house, for example. Do you think you play better now because of the freedom of the life you're living?
That's a tough question. I mean, I don't know if we play better. I think it's helped us simplify our life maybe a little bit, help us simplify things where we can, we don't have to worry about like before when we were renting a house, we were, flying and coming back to the house. Like I was trying to take care of the pool, for a while there, I was doing the landscaping and it was like cleaning the house. We had the dogs there and it was like we would come back to kind of a mess, and it was like, yeah, you spent like a whole week just trying to get back on track. And I think now I would say we probably do have a lot more time to just kind of focus on training and playing. And yeah, we've kind of simplified things with the RV and, maybe it has made us play better or at least be able to train more and focus more on pickleball, and less on some of the other things that are distracting when you have a house to take care of. So.
Yeah, I definitely think it's helped us just to kind of be more one track minded. I mean, it's we've stepped away from our other jobs. We still have the job of parenting, but other than that, we've kind of limited our responsibilities and our needs elsewhere and our distractions all around us. And we're like, okay, like we have this is the journey we're on, and while we continue to try and have that big picture idea of like this, just pickleball is one part of our journey. Obviously we take training really serious and we take competition very serious. And I think RV life has simplified our life really nicely so that we can really just focus on that.
You say you have a one-track mind. You're locked in on the journey ahead. I mean, right, you got to look at the road. You got to raise your kids that are behind you, and you got to focus on the next tournament. Mm-hmm. Having a one-track mind like that, what does it feel like compared to maybe before when you were more cluttered?
Yeah, I mean, actually, locked in is one of my terms that I use on court for me. Like especially on match days, or getting ready for a match or whatever, like I gotta lock in, like there's so many distractions, and especially this weekend, there's so many people and so many like demands in the world, right? Whether it's you're an athlete or whether you're, just an everyday person, like there's so many distractions, social media, like you name it, all over the place. And I think for us, it's like, okay, like we've simplified and we can actually isolate ourselves and kind of go into our cave, which is the RV, and just like sometimes we can just turn off our phone and not be around people, which is kind of amazing at times. And we lock in and we simplify our life, and we're like, okay, this is our one track mind. We're pickleball players right now. We have the opportunity to be pickleball athletes and pro athletes, and we're going to take it seriously. And that means, thinking about it, training about it, visualizing about it, and doing everything with our body as well to prepare for it. So it takes a lot. I mean, it's, everybody is, some people that don't know professional pickleball, it's like, it looks easier than it is. And it takes a lot out on you, and a lot goes in, and we're just, trying to go all in on it.
Yeah, and it's like anything, it's about finding the balance. We work hard but we also, and we love being around the whole pickleball scene. I think that's what makes pickleball so fun. Like we really do enjoy watching all the other players, and we have a ton of friends that this weekend we were cheering them on, both pro and amateur, all ages, all walks of life, which is what makes pickleball so cool. And going to these tournaments, I love the fact, I mean, they've talked about splitting up pro and amateur, and I hope they don't do that because I like having everyone together. I think it's super fun. It creates a great environment that way. But obviously, it's nice. Sometimes we didn't have the RV in Miami, but like Megan said, it is nice to have that balance to just kind of be able to get away sometimes. I think some of the best tournaments have been where we could park the RV right on site, and, we could even get away, get back to the RV in between a match, and just kind of like, like she said, just lock in and kind of get rid of some of the distractions when you're trying to really focus on the actual play and tournament. I think that can be helpful. But that's obviously hard to do sometimes, to find a place where you can park it right there at the tournament. So we haven't had that too many times. But
in the modern day, so many people are struggling with being able to lock in, like you say, Megan, and compartmentalize, like you say, Ryler. We have our phones, jobs, family issue. You know, people are running around like crazy nowadays. Social media, I didn't even mention that. Let's say I took you out of the RV. I took pickleball out of your life and I put you in a house and you had busy jobs and you had social media and all those distractions. What have you learned in the last year that you maybe would use in that situation to just lock in? And like, how can an everyday person learn from the two of you to lock in like you have?
I think for us, it's like our biggest thing has been like less is more. You know, less is more is like less stuff, less clutter, less distractions is more life. Like you now get to enjoy real life. You know, like the more stuff we have around us and the more stuff going on, like it can just like make life so small. And I think that's kind of, you know, less, it becomes more for us. Like that's been the big thing for me this past year. Less stuff, less distractions, less people, less all the other stuff, and more life.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great one. Less is more. I think, sometimes you have to say no. There's a lot of demands on everyone, and whether it's pickleball, tour, or life, or whatever, you can't say yes to everyone. You sometimes have to say no. And yeah, I would say just like the biggest thing for me is like I try sometimes just get rid of my phone and just like focus on the task at hand, like focus on what's right in front of me, and control what I can control, like whether that's doing laundry or, doing something that needs to get done. It's like get the distractions out and just focus on the task at hand. I think that's really big. And that can definitely help you in the pickleball world. It's like sometimes you just got to get rid of the distractions and like take it one thing at a time.
Yeah, without a phone, laundry gets done in double time, right?
There you go.
Where do you do laundry?
We actually have a washer and dryer in our RV, under RV, but we don't use it too often because most of the places that we stop at have, or our friends' houses, they have a washer and dryer, and it uses a lot of our water, our fresh water, and goes into our gray tank. So we try to limit the washer and dryer use in our RV. But when we have to, we can do small loads. Yeah, which is nice.
Which one of you two is driving most of the time?
I do most of the driving of the RV, and she does most of the driving of the Jeep when we're just kind of cruising around.
Yeah.
So she can drive the big rig though.
When I get to drive the RV.
Yeah.
Like really that massive thing. And I'm like, actually, I like to do the evening shift when the roads are a little quieter. But no, like honestly, we're so big, people leave us alone. We're just like cruise along, and people are just like, oh, look at that big RV.
Yeah, that's how I am. When I got a tiny little Honda, when I see an RV on the highway, I'm like, okay, they're doing their RV thing. I'm gonna just go here and bye bye.
Okay, people leave us alone.
Yeah.
We cruise along.
So raising your kids, JR, Lily, I know they're homeschooled through, I believe, Florida virtual schools. What's the setup like, and how have they taken to it?
Yeah, they honestly have been enrolled in Florida virtual school actually since COVID. So it wasn't necessarily a big change just because we're on the road. It's something we had decided to enroll during COVID, an established program. Florida is one of the #1 homeschool states in the country. So it's a very, very common thing to do. We knew it from tennis already too, from a lot of our players that we coached did Florida virtual school. So we know it was a great accredited program. We just got started in it, and we honestly, like, Lily excels in it. She's someone who can get distracted by a lot of people or intimidated. So having that one-on-one time with her just helps her excel faster and get that attention she needs. And then JR, I mean, JR just has fun because he just competes with Lily and wants to get everything done fast. So he has fun with it, and they're doing great. Their teachers are super understanding of our lifestyle, and we share with their teachers on Zoom calls and on text messages as well, like keeping them up to date on where we are in the country or in the world at times, and getting the schoolwork done every week. So we normally look to do schoolwork Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays for a couple of hours in the mornings before we start training. We submit it to their teacher, they grade it, and as long as we've submitted all our work every week, we don't get that text message reminder from the teacher. It'd be like, science is missing, come on guys, you got this. So And then they get on a Zoom call about once a month with their teacher, and just to do a discussion-based assessment, making sure that they're on track and everything's understood and the material's there. So it's a nice way of homeschooling for us, because it kind of takes the weight and the responsibility off, but we're still part of their education journey.
You're on their education journey as you trek around the country. It is so cool, and I saw a picture of them with the map of America showing all the places they've been. I mean, they're going to look back on this in 20 years, 30 years, when they'll be pickleball pros and go, wow, I mean, that was an amazing time.
We hope so. I mean, we're trying to include other stops and like go on hikes, and we've done some really cool state parks. We did Yosemite Valley last summer, which was incredible for all of us. And we did Statue of Liberty. We've done Grand Canyon. We did Liberty Bell. So, and we do the junior ranger programs when we're there. So like the state parks and everything, they have at the ranger stations, they do a junior ranger program where they basically, sometimes it's like a booklet. They have to like do like scavenger hunts. They have to learn things, fill the material out. It's actually very educational for me because I'm not American and I don't know half the things. And so I learn with the kids, especially like about the Statue of Liberty and the Liberty Bell. That was really interesting to me as well. And so, just learning along the way and learning about the whole country. It's been super fun.
Megan now knows who George Washington is.
I want to hear a piece of advice for my listeners. You can each have one. You can have a combined one, however you want to handle it. But I love to leave with a piece of advice.
People that are drawn to pickleball, like, we know it can be addictive, like it can be super competitive. I think it can get really like cutthroat out there. But I think just constantly reminding ourselves like of perspective, that it's just pickleball. There's a lot more to life than pickleball. And when you get out there, it's like more about, the relationships, the people you meet, the experience that you have. And that's what I'm trying to kind of instill in the kids too. It's like, and I think this has been a process for me as well, but I'm getting better at it. It's like just having that perspective on things when you go out there, and not feeling like you go out in one game or one match is like the end of the world. Or if you don't win the tournament or whatever, that you're like, it's like, it's not going to make that big a difference in the end. It's like, just enjoy the whole thing. And pickleball has been such a great gift to us. It's more like what it's done for our family, not just about the wins and losses and stuff like that. So perspective, keep it all in perspective.
I like
perspective. So valuable. Megan, let's hear some advice.
I think going back to the less is more. I think, find ways to simplify your life, find ways to keep it in perspective, like Ryler said, but keep it simple so that you can live life bigger. And and that's what it's all about.
Make your third shot drops.
All right, I got 3 valuable pieces of advice. Perspective, less is more, and make your third shot drops. That's super, super important. And as I get into summer season and play some pickleball, that'll be very important. Thank you.
Perfect. I love it.
All right, Ryler, Megan, thanks for joining the Mental Game. Appreciate you both.
Thank you so much.
Oh, what a great episode with Megan and Ryler. I'm telling you, they are going to make me buy an RV. It sounds so freeing. Just get rid of all your crap, buy the RV, simplify your life. They're totally locked in. So appreciate them for sharing some of that with us. I've got a link to their Instagram accounts in the description of this episode. So if you want to look at some of the awesome photos, videos they take on the road, it's really cool and really cute to see some of the stuff with their kids, JR and Lily. Both of them are also kicking butt. Not just the parents, but the kids are certainly future pickleball stars on the APP. So this has been episode 2 of the Mental Game of Pickleball. Certainly more to come, and I really appreciate you for joining today on the Mental Game. As always, a reminder that the Mental Game is sponsored by Lasers Ladybug Society, wonderful charity based in the Virginia area down in Richmond, by John and Renee Laser, raising funds and money for mental health programs in schools and all sorts of facilities. So make sure you support them by clicking the link in the description below. They are proud friends and sponsors of the podcast. Thank you so much for joining the Mental Game. I've been your host, Sam Brief. and I will talk to you next time.